Hey there, this is Praveen Sai, and today we are gonna talk about basically what blockchain is, how it works, and why do we need it. So let the journey begin. Before talking about crypto, let us first talk about the history of trade and all this. So basically, we just want the transaction in a trade to be as easy as possible. We don't want our transactions to be really hard. So in the beginning, there used to be this barter system, right, in which you have to exchange some goods in exchange for second good, right? So assume you are a wheat seller and you want fruit. Now you go for a fruit vendor, but he will give you those fruits only if he also wants wheat. Otherwise, the transaction will just not take place. So in order to make this transaction successful, you will have to find a fruit seller who also needs your wheat, which is a lot of headache, right? You don't want your transactions to be hard. So that's why we introduced money. Our money is a universal medium. It is, everyone believes it has a certain value in relation to anything which is for sale, like in relation to wheat or in relation to diamond or anything. And anyone, and you can exchange that money to buy anything which is on sale, and no one can deny the value of currency that it doesn't has a value, cause that will be illegal and that can give that person a sentence in the jail. But our current banking system has some initial flaws. Like basically, someone can hack the central server and just make all your transaction invalid, which you really just don't want to be, and your server may be down, which will be make your transaction really hard. Central authority, it is the bank, has total control over all of your data, and some of the time they also have some huge amount of bureaucracy, like you may have the specific amount of money to buy something, but in order to buy some expensive or substance, you will have to first tell the government and the bank that where you got that money from. And inter-country transaction can cost some extra cost. It involves two different central banks, and it can also be really tedious, and that transaction can be really hard. So that's the last thing which you would ever want to do with the transaction, because as we know, we just want to make our transaction as easy as possible. And the last is your transaction limit can be exceeded for that day, which will make your transaction even harder, because you just can't make that transaction on that day. So yeah, these were some initial flaws in our current banking system. So let us see how our current cryptocurrency just makes this better. So cryptocurrency is basically a digital asset based on a blockchain technology. Yeah, blockchain technology. What is blockchain technology? Let us first see. Blockchain is a decentralized network of computers, just a bunch of computers connected to each other. And whenever a new transaction is created, whenever some new data is to be stored, it is first duplicated and distributed across all the computers on that blockchain network. So yeah, if you wanna ever change that data, you gotta change, you don't have a central point of failure, you gotta change 51% of all the computer's data, which in itself is a huge task. And along with that, cryptocurrencies also use some advanced cryptographic methods in order to protect the data from being duplicated or from being changed. So yeah, you can have a major look at what blockchain is in our previous blockchain video, I guess. Yeah, I made it, so you can go check it on our channel. So yeah, since our cryptocurrency is based on blockchain, it inherits some of the core basic features of blockchain. So yeah, once a transaction is created and stored on a blockchain, it just becomes immutable. You can no way change it on that blockchain. And for secure information. The current banking system stores your data in like databases where the data can change. It doesn't stores your transaction most probably. It basically stores your current account balance, and then maybe a last 5 to 10 transaction. But Bitcoin doesn't stores your current account balance. It instead stores all of your transaction, and based on that history of your transaction, it creates the account balance of your account on the fly. So that's it. And second, it is decentralized. So no central authority has control over your identity and your personal data, hence giving you total privacy. And you can send as many bitcoins to anyone, anywhere without any problem or without even a single crunch of bureaucracy anywhere. So yeah, that's a really great stuff, right? And since it is decentralized, there is no single point of failure like a server which can get down, because if one computer is down, then there are almost thousands of other computers on a blockchain networks which can do the mining and the work for you. So it's really easy because you don't have a central point of failure, and transaction happens through public and private key of a user. Like a private key is like a password which you have to just keep to yourself, and a public key is just like your account number which you can give to anyone who just wants to do some transactions to you. So let us see those in some details. Okay, so here we are on our demo of public slash private keys. So yeah, private key as we told is just like a password. So you could just enter some random digit 1 2 3 4 5 6, but it is quite common number. So we'll just generate some random big string of numbers. So yeah, these number are just this your private key. You basically have to keep your private key only to yourself. And now this is the public key. Public key is unique for each and every individual private key. Like you can just re-enter this private key and you will again get this public key, but there is no way to enter this public key and get this private key. This private key is like your password, and this public key is just your account number. So anyone who wants to make a transaction to your account just must know your public key, but the private key must be only to yourself. So now let us see how our data is secured. So yeah, assume this is our transaction and this is our private key. Only we have our private key. So now we must sign it with our. So say let us say person A sends 10 Bitcoin to B. Not Bitcoin, it's Bitcoin. Now on the blockchain who wanna verify whether it was created by me or not, all they have to do is just enter this public key, this message, and the signature on that block. So it will easily be verified that yeah, it was created by me. So if this let me go back to the keys tab. So this public key is just similar to your account number. So now instead of waiting for days in a bank, if you just want to create a new account, a new Bitcoin address to send your Bitcoins to, all you just have to do is just change some digits in this your private key, and your public key will be generated instantly. And there is no bureaucracy. You don't need to show where you got those Bitcoins from or who you even are. It's that easy. And now to create a transaction from one account to another, assume from my account to someone else's account, all I need to know is that person's public key to whom I want to send, my public key and my private key. Nothing else. I need no OTP, no password, nothing else. I just gotta remember this private key, and the public key will also can also be generated from this private key and after that, and then I can just sign it, and yeah, then just send this to anyone, any miner on our blockchain network, and they can easily mine it and verify that yeah, this transaction was actually created by me. So this, it is really easy. All you need is the public key of the second person and my private key. So yeah, that's it. So before moving on, first of all, understand what a block on a blockchain is. A block is just like a file on your system in which you can store some data. Similarly, you can store a certain amount of transaction in each block on a blockchain. So just like you save your block on your computer, that block is similarly mined or saved on the blockchain. But since blockchain is not one computer, that's why mining takes a bit of time, and mining can be different based on what type of cryptocurrency it is. So yeah, basically there are two type of cryptocurrency. First one is proof of work based cryptocurrency, and second one is the proof of stack based cryptocurrency. So basically, all the miners on a computational on our blockchain network wanna mine maximum number of blocks, because whenever they mine one block, they gain a certain reward of cryptos from the blockchain, like a certain number of bitcoins from the Bitcoin blockchain as a reward for solving that computational problem which they were given. So, like the number one type of blockchain is the number one type of cryptocurrency is the proof of work based cryptocurrency. So the first proof of work based cryptocurrency which comes in mind is Bitcoin. So assume you want to send 100 bitcoins to person B. So you send it to the Bitcoin network that I am person A, and this is I have signed this message and I want to send this much amount to person B. Now, in order to mine a block on a blockchain network or a proof of work based blockchain, the miners have to solve a computational puzzle which shows that they have they have used some specific amount of computational power in order to mine this block, and whoever is the first person to mine that specific block will be given the reward from the blockchain network. So yeah, you have sent it to blockchain network, so all the miners on the blockchain network will try to mine it as fast as possible, and once anyone has solved that computational puzzle, they will just share it to the whole network. Solving the computational puzzle is really hard, but verifying whether the puzzle solved is correct or not is really easy. So when it is shared on the blockchain network, the solved puzzle, if the 51% of all people agree that yeah, the puzzle which is solved is legitimate, is correct, it has not been tampered with, then that block is created on the blockchain, your transfer has completed. So yeah, it maximum takes uh, 3 to 5 minutes, 5 minutes for mining one block, and one block, as you know, can contain various number of transactions, like up to 1 MB of transaction. So the only way in which our proof of stack based cryptocurrency are different is that the reward is not given on basis of who solved the computational problem first. Instead, the blocks are mined as are given to mine as per amount of the cryptocurrencies that you already hold. Like assume you hold 30% of the whole cryptocurrency in the market, then you are given 30% of all the blocks to be mined. That's great. And for the 30% of all the blocks which you mine, you also get 30% of all the rewards which were to be given for mining total blocks on the blockchain. In our previous work, they used proof of work in order to recognize the fraud which happens on blockchain. But currently, if you in a proof of stack base, if you mine a fraud block, all the cryptocurrencies which you have are just taken away from you. Like if you hold 1% of the cryptocurrency of all the cryptocurrency, if they are taken away from you, that is a really huge amount of cryptos. You will never want to do that. So how this whole transaction happens? Let us once again rewind. So first you create a transaction and you sign it with your ID, which is your private key, and then you send it to the blockchain network in order to mine it. So it will be given to some specific miners in order to mine, and once the miner has mined that block, it is saved, it is created the block and solved it computational puzzle, then it will be shared across the blockchain network to other miners in order to see that whether the puzzle which will be solved is correct or not, because it is really easy to verify the puzzle but really hard to solve it. So now if the puzzle is correctly solved and 51% of the total computers agree that yeah it is correct, then it is mined and saved on the blockchain network, and that data is now immutable. You can never change the transaction ever. And now if the person B now tries to see how much amount of cryptos he have, now those amount of cryptos will be added to his account. So yeah, it was pretty easy. Even if you gotta make a new account, as we saw, you just gotta need to change some number of on your private key, and boom, you got a new account. It is a new public key. Yep, that was it. So basically some example of proof of work based cryptocurrency include Bitcoin, Ethereum. Actually Ethereum is gonna move to proof of stack based cryptocurrency in Ethereum 2.0. Hey there, thanks to watching the video till the last. So as a reward, just like blockchain, I would like to give you some memes created by me. So have a look. So that was it for today. So if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more such videos, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.